Somalia. I have now the honor to give the floor to Her Excellency, Ms. Sabine Monauni, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs of Liechtenstein. You have the floor, Madam.
Excellencies, we meet here at a time when multilateralism is under threat, international law blatantly disregarded, and the number of armed conflicts continuously rising. We face challenges that can only be solved collectively, like climate change and the digital transformation, all while the United Nations is facing an institutional and financial crisis. Adherence to international law, and particularly the UN Charter, the Human Rights Treaties, the Rome Statute, the Geneva Conventions and many other core instruments, is of crucial importance, particularly in such times of crisis. These most fundamental rules have not only been intended to prevent ever further escalation, but to guide us through critical times. The UN can only be as successful in achieving its main goals as member states allow it to be. It starts with respecting the most fundamental provisions of the Charter, and it continues with providing adequate resources for the UN to carry out its mandates. The UN 80 initiative offers an important opportunity to reflect on the functioning of the UN and how it can be made fit for purpose in a rapidly changing world. However, it should not absolve member states from their obligations vis-à-vis the organization, including when it comes to financial obligations. We call upon all states to meet their financial obligations fully and on time. The ongoing liquidity crisis and the long-standing underfunding of the human rights pillar have a particularly negative effect on the UN's ability to deliver on human rights as the bedrock for peace, security and stability. Mr. President, tomorrow marks the 4th anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Liechtenstein reiterates its condemnation of Russia's ongoing war of aggression against Ukraine and the deliberate targeting of the civilian population and infrastructure. While we support ongoing efforts to advance discussions on a peace agreement, I would like to emphasize that any outcome must respect relevant decisions of the UN General Assembly and be in accordance with the principles of the UN Charter, particularly the principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the right to self-determination. It is an important part of the mandate of the Human Rights Council to address situations of severe human rights violations. The Council has observed this duty recently when it held a special session on the human rights situation in El Fasher, Sudan, after the horrific attacks by the rapid support forces against the civilian population, including extrajudicial killings, torture, rape, and other sexual crimes. In a similar vein, the Council recently convened to address the violent crackdown on peaceful protesters in Iran, resulting in thousands killed and many more detained. While addressing these gross and systemic violations, we have to recognize that the Human Rights Council is not a court. There are limits as to what the Council can do to ensure accountability and prevent impunity. It is the role of the International Criminal Court under the Rome Statute to prosecute most serious crimes under international law. Given its mandate, it is no surprise that the court has faced challenges since its inception. However, the escalation of sanctions against the prosecutor, two deputy prosecutors, 8 judges, and 3 civil society organizations are unprecedented. In such times, states parties must unite to ensure that the court is backed by strong political support, sufficient financial resources, and states' consistent execution of the court's decisions, including the execution of arrest warrants. Mr. President, we strongly believe that civil society actors are key players in ensuring that the Human Rights Council can fulfill its mandate. Liechtenstein is very concerned about the increasing attacks and reprisals, both online and offline, against human rights defenders in many countries. The work of civil society actors is, moreover, often hampered by obstacles such as restrictive legislation or administrative burdens. All this is unacceptable. We call on all states to protect human rights defenders and to ensure an open, conducive and safe environment for them to conduct their very important work. Thank you very much.
I thank the Deputy Prime Minister and